good? It's your boy Oppression, man. This is gonna be my very first segment on my 16 bars of the real. 16 bars of the real. So on this, I'm pretty much gonna be telling y'all about, sharing my experiences of being incarcerated. I've been inspired by a few brothers that I've seen sharing some stories, and not that I want to glorify anything that I experienced in by being incarcerated, but just to shed some light to the people that have family members that are incarcerated, or they just want to be informed about some of the things that happen while incarcerated, right? So this is gonna be my very first episode. Not really trying to entertain you, but you probably will be entertained. Since this is my very first episode, I'll introduce myself. Y'all probably know me from, or some know me from, I did an interview with Vlad last year, pretty much talking about the thing that had me incarcerated. I don't like to glorify that. I know I got a lot of negative feedback from that, a lot of negative commentary from that. People that didn't really understand what took place, or some of the victim family member was, some of his homies and stuff like that was, they felt some type of way, and it's not my style to try to glorify the situation, because there's nothing to be glorified about. I did my time. It was something that I did that I regret happening. It changed my life. It changed a lot of people's life, and I can't change what I did in the past, but I can damn sure, make the necessary steps to make sure that never happens again. I haven't been incarcerated for about 12 years. This will be my 12th year, I think. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that real quick. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to be sorry enough for another person that experienced trauma or pain. But I just want people to understand that this is nothing that I'm glorifying my situation or anybody's situation. You won't hear me glorify it, but I will, expound upon it. You can ask me questions in the comments. I'll give you some feedback, and it's gonna be like a real to real, 16 bars of real. So the thing I wanted to share about when I first got incarcerated, right? I'm gonna say when I went up top, right? So when I went up top, before I went up top, I'm from Buffalo, New York, so I was in the holding center. I was in the Erie County Holding Center, and after I got sentenced, they sent me up. So before they sent me up, I was weighing probably like 190 something, close to 200. I was working out profusely. Like, I was like, damn. Because I ain't gonna lie, I never experienced it, so I was just like, it was some fear there. I ain't gonna lie, it was some fear, like, damn, I don't know what's gonna happen. It was some anxiety there. Nobody can say they entered the prison system and say that it's no type of fear there, because the fear of the unknown. I'm gonna say fear of the unknown. I wasn't fear of no man, but it was just fear of the unknown, what was to come. So I was trying to prepare myself for that mentally, physically. I was working out crazy with this OG dude. So when I went up top, before I went up top, my uncle had sent me a Quran. This is why I never wanted to join no gang, no religion, no nothing. People that know me is, know that I've been enlightened by some people that was by some brothers that was part of the Nation of Islam. I took lessons or whatever, but I never really took an attribute. Never subscribed to anything where, I was a part of things. Like, I wanted to fast with them, so I fast with them, stuff like that. But I never was blood. I never was Crip. I never really subscribed to, religions or nothing. It just, I moved with the people that was real and the dudes that was from Buffalo. So when I went up top, I went to Wendy first. So I'm like, all right, cool. Wendy's cool. It's here. It's close to town. I'm thinking, like, they're gonna move me. So I end up moving to packing up. They packed me up, and I moved to Elmira. So the experience that I had that made me not want to be nothing, like, I was going to Juma before I went up top. Like I had one like once or twice, you know. And the prayer thing was all right, cool. But sitting down like that, numb my legs. I was like, yo, this is a little crazy. You got to sit here for this long. So my uncle had bought me a Quran, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna see what it is. So my father always told me, like, make sure you research whatever you're getting into, you know what I'm saying? So when I went up top, I went to Elmira. So we had to go get our property. So as we going to get our property, it was this dude, he had to be like 6'4", big brolic dude, brolic ass dude. And I wanted to sit down. I was waiting for them to call us for my property. I wanted to sit down. So I touched this Quran and I moved it with my right hand. And he was like, yo, Ak, you touched my Quran? You really touched my Quran? You touched my Quran with your right hand? And I'm like, damn, I didn't know. I was like, yo, my bad, man. And I sat down and I looked. Yo, I went back to myself. I said, I ain't being shit, man. I don't want to be nothing. That shit had me tight. Like, I was mad that the motherfucker tried to impose his will on me. I'm like, nah, I ain't being a part of shit. And then, what intrigued me about God Body dudes is that they was playing. First of all, they was throwing lines. If you ever been to Elmira, you know that to the other side, the tiers is top tiers, is like 3 tiers. Motherfuckers is throwing lines back and forth. I'm seeing these lines and shit. But the shit that intrigued me, that really, really intrigued me, was hearing dudes play chess and mathematics with supreme mathematics. At the time, I didn't know. I had no clue. This what made me want to learn math. This what made me, it had me intrigued, and I wanted to get cool with some of the God Body dudes because, they had all the knowledge. I like that they was experienced and they knew a lot of information. And I was always school smart, street smart, school smart, what I'm saying, academics. So I want to know what they're talking about. This dude's on the case like knowledge God to wisdom power. And it just calling out moves, understanding power to. I'm like, yo, what the hell are they talking about? I know they playing chess, but I don't have no idea what they talking about. So I was like, whenever I get to a spot, I'm going to learn about this. And I learned, I end up learning supreme mathematics. I end up learning lessons from being around dudes that subscribe to the Nation of Islam, the Nation of Gods and Earth. I end up getting real cool with dudes, you know what I'm saying? I was cool with Bloods, I was cool with everybody, you know what I'm saying? But most of all, like, when I was up top, like, I was cool with a lot of dudes from upstate that was from my town. And if you was official and you held it down, we was cool. It was a thing where I wasn't trying to protect everybody, but if you came to any spot that I was in, like, I was one of the dudes that you met. And I made sure I met you, you know what I'm saying? Just to make sure, you was cool, that you got what you needed. You know what I'm saying? If you was all right, I set you out, make sure you good, and that was that. But that was one of the reasons why that I never really joined. I joined nothing because of that experience with dude. And then I met this dude named, when I went to Katsaki, that was the spot that I ended up landing in. It was 2 things that happened that made me not want to, that this would just really, really, really like solidified me not wanting to be ever. This dude named Gishan was mad skinny too, but he had like 25 to life. And when I first moved next door to him, like, he was like, yo, you want a cigarette? I ain't really smoke like that. I was just, smoking for the hairbrush. Just give me a cigarette. He like, yo, I came out. He was like, listen, man, don't be looking like you looking for a friend in the yard, man. Don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just be cool. And I'm like, all right. So the second day, it was these 2 Jamaicans. It was this Jamaican dude. I ain't gonna name no names. I don't want to name names, but I'm just gonna say dudes or whatever. It was just a Jamaican dude, and he because he had words with this other kid. They was both from Brooklyn. Brooklyn dudes just give it up. Like, I studied these dudes. I was like, yo, these is the dudes that's the strongest in the jail. I gotta study these dudes to see how they give it up. You know what I'm saying? So I know like who's who, what's what. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They had problems with each other, and I just know I was in the front of the line because I was hungry as hell. I wanted to eat. I'm like, yo, they call only child. I'm like in the front of the line. So we coming from the, it was two parts, halves of the tier. So we was in the back tier. I think it was in D3. I think I was in D3. So we was going to C3. We going to the front, and this dude with dreads, man, I never forget. I know his name. I'm not gonna say his name. He moved to the front, and he just whop cut the dude like down his face, and said, "Don't blow it up." I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, "Don't blow it up." Everybody just scattered, and you know what I'm saying? They started getting it, and then they end up. The thing about it was crazy. Then they end up, you know what I'm saying? Both of them got locked up or whatever. They end up putting them, because back then, if you didn't tell, this is '94. So if you didn't tell on the dude, just straight up to tell who did it, they'd put you right back in population, and they might put you on the same side of dude. They make sure y'all don't come to the yard together, but sometimes they call yard together from both sides. And they end up calling yard together again, and he tried to take dude head off again, split his hat open. And from there, I found out that you never, no matter how hungry you is, I don't care what they're having, you do not want to be in the front of the line, man. You never want to be in the front of the line. So those are some things that I experienced that made me not want to join no gangs. I wasn't there to you know, nobody up top can ever say they sunned me or they made me do anything that I didn't want to do, or just put me in a position to do, you know. I really never had beef when I was up top. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get into later episodes of, you know, when I did have shakeout when I was in Clinton. You know what I mean? And that really wasn't no beef that was directed at me. But we'll get into that another time. But yeah, for dudes that's up top, man, that's watching this, man, like, if you, the best thing you could do, man, is be yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to be nobody else. Don't try to be down with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just be cool with dudes and be yourself, man. I was cool with everybody. I wasn't gambling. I wasn't chasing around no boys. I wasn't doing nothing that I wasn't supposed to be doing. You know, when I spoke to my elders on the phone, they said, do what you got to do and come home. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So after doing 16 years, I was released. You know what I'm saying? And I never went back. But for people that have the experience, just know, man, listen, it's not a game in there. You have to know that it's not guaranteed that you can come home. You know what I'm saying? You got the COs in there. Shout out to the dude St. Laz too, man. He was telling a story about Swan God. I remember him too. But I was in Cassac. I think he was saying he was in Green or whatever. Well, I was in Cassac. So most of the dudes that was in Green came over to Cassac, and Cassac he went to Green if you was transferring down or you got caught up in the mix or whatever. But yeah, y'all gonna hear more from me. Y'all gonna hear some stories, man. And this gonna be a thing I get into, you know what I'm saying? I want people to know, you know, the different aspects of being in prison. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to glorify, but it's some things that I feel like if people know, if the youngest, they know more about what to expect, you get what I'm saying? Like, they won't be so prone to, you know, to commit things that put them in harm's way or that's gonna get them incarcerated, you know. So catch me on the next one, man. The 16 bars of the real. 16 bars of the real. No pressure. I'm signing off, man. Salute. Make sure y'all go stream my project that's out, The Good, the Bad, the Righteous, with my brother, my son, and my brother Drex. And check out his new video that he got Salute to all the haters, man. Anybody stay up, man. Stay blessed, stay well. Salute.